Welcome back, time to newcomers. I'd like to apologize to State's Attorney. Last episode, we finished the past investigation. Now we're on to the present. Let's finish talking to Brushel.
He's been waiting this whole time. 7 years, eh?
Waiting?
For his big comeback, of course. A big revival of the Magnifi miracle. Of course, it was all a dream.
Because of this. The performance rights.
In the absence of any official documents, he was golden. Who's to say the old man didn't give his rights to both Zack and Valant?
So Valant waited until Zack died. Legally, at least.
The time finally comes, and Valant's like a kid on Christmas morning.
He's getting ready for his show at the Sunshine Coliseum, you know.
If that document sees the legal light of day, it's going to put a bit of a damper on the big show. He's a sorry one, that Valant Gramarye. Lost out to his partner at work, and in love, too.
Love?
That's the same old story, really. 2 disciples, and their mentor's only daughter. What has 3 sides, and all of them pointing? A love triangle.
That is pretty classic.
When you're in a performing troupe, that's your world. It's like family. One with an entire high school's worth of drama, intrigue, and backstabbing.
And in the middle of all this, Thalassa has Trucy. And then she dies. I need to find out more about this Thalassa.
Yeah, which obviously the game's trying to throw a wall on us here, but what we probably just have to do is to present this locket.
Mr. Brushel, do you know this person?
Do I know that person? Of course. I was friends with Zack, after all. He hit me a few times. 5 times, actually. But still, I never forget his wife.
Thalassa Gramarye. Magnifi Gramarye's only daughter. Do you think you could tell me more about her?
Well, why the heck not?
There we go. Okay. It looks like Brushel might be the first thing here without any Cyclops, but we'll have to see him on this one here.
So, Thalassa married Zack and had Trucy, see? It was her second marriage, actually.
You mean she was divorced? I hadn't heard this one before.
Not quite. Her late husband was a performer too. He died in an accident on stage. Tragic, really. They'd only been married 1 year.
I didn't know.
Ah, but she was a beauty. I still carry around a portrait photo of her, you know? I've known Trucy since she was a little thing, too. She got the better deal, really. She's got you for family, after all.
What do you mean?
Just reminiscing, you know? Thalassa has another child besides Trucy. End quote.
What? But Trucy said she was an only child.
Ah, yes. She had this one with her previous husband.
Her previous husband? Her first husband who died on stage?
Yep, they had themselves a kid. Another orphan now. That's another one who slipped through the cracks. No idea where they are now.
Thalassa had another child? Do you think I could borrow that photo?
Sure. I can be generous on occasion, you know?
I won't need this locket anymore. Better return it to Trucy before I forget.
People and events all get tangled together and get biggerer and biggerer. Don't you think?
I was too busy wondering about Biggerer to listen to what you were saying.
Sometimes you just gotta accept that you won't be able to untangle it all, I think.
Maybe so, but still. I have to do what I can. And I have to tell what I find to those who come next.
Next, you say?
I'm not the one who will close the curtain on this little play. Apparently, that's not my role anymore.
Magnifi. I was just wondering what Magnifi would think of all this.
What do you mean?
Haven't you seen it in Trucy? She's got his power.
You mean how I can't lie to Trucy?
It was the same with Magnifi. And with his daughter, Thalassa.
It's a strange thing. You think it's some Gramarye gene?
Magnifi told me once, back when Zack married Thalassa. He said Zack had good eyes. But not good like a Gramarye's eyes. Not that good.
I wonder if Zack ever played a game of poker with his wife. Who knows what the Gramarye secret was?
Maybe nobody, now that Zack's gone.
Zack Gramarye. The plot had finally begun to reveal itself. It sprouted from a warp in the Gramarye fabric and grew, swallowing everything, wrapping itself around the Gramarye's power. A power which passed to Magnifi Gramarye to Thalassa, to the next generation. And I would once again need to meet the one who bridged it all together.
Alright, so that Brushel session was pretty much the young Trucy session of the present day, I see. They give that one to you for free. Then you gotta go break all the other ones. So, where it's leading me here is obviously, instead of going to Sunshine Coliseum, it wants me to break Zack Gramarye's Cyclops now. So let's do it. Let's finish this one. We are almost done with the investigation and onto the final trial, guys. We might do it this episode. Let's see what happens. This one or the next one. So, first of all, let's break your goddamn Cyclops, motherfreaker. Yeah. The evidence showing the missing link would be Thalassa's portrait.
Actually, I know something. Your marriage to Thalassa was her second.
How did you know this?
Her first husband. He died a year after they were wed, yes?
He was a performer. They met when he joined us Gramarys as a guest in our show. After Thalassa wed him, she left the troupe for a while. And you say she had a child then?
I have a photograph of her here. I couldn't help but notice what she was wearing when I first saw this. Those bracelets stand out.
They are a Gramarye family heirloom.
This boy wears a bracelet just like the ones in the picture.
What? So, that's why.
Why what, Mr. Zack?
I took this photo of Thalassa before she left us. When she returned, she wore only one bracelet.
I bet I know where that other one went.
She gave it to this boy, her son.
Alright, we've broken his psych locks, however you say it. That means there's only 2 left after this one. Almost done.
This strange power, I myself do not know from where it comes. Yet, the fact is that it is passed down the Gramarye line. It runs in their veins.
What is it?
I asked her, Thalassa, once. This is what she told me. Her power responds to tension in others.
Tension?
If she were to face a person and they became tense, even slightly, then she would know, no matter how hard they tried to hide it from her.
So, she could see it?
Not quite. This is the strangest part of it all. She wouldn't realize that she was subconsciously detecting this tension. Without the use of a particular object, or in her case, objects.
Objects? Wait, were they something she wore?
Yes, her bracelets.
I admit the first time I saw one of those, I felt there was more to it than just fashion. But what kind of power could a bracelet have?
I have made a decision. I will tell you all I know. Consider it a gift.
Oh man, that's a lot of chat options. Alright, tell me what you know.
Well, I hardly need you to tell me at this point. But those two...
Are brother and sister, yes. And the brother, too, has this power of theirs.
So Trucy has an older brother. I wonder what will come of that.
Mr. Wright, tonight, after our game is done, I will return to a life of hiding. I would not see her live her life without knowing.
I understand. I'll tell the two of them when the time is right.
I am in your debt once again.
No kidding. What I want to know is how all this got so messed up.
Those bracelets are made of a special alloy. It is said to expand and shrink very slightly in response to body warmth.
So the temperature sensitive or something?
Yes. This is how they can shrink to the exact size of their wearer's wrist.
And this has something to do with the power?
What have I told you? The Gramarye power reacts to tension in others. When the Gramarye senses tension, they too become tense. And this tension translates into minute contractions of the muscles. So minute, they cannot sense it on their own.
Their muscles? Oh, so that's what the bracelets are for.
With the bracelet on, one can sense these contractions. Because the bracelet is always a perfect fit.
So when the person they're watching gets tense, the bracelet feels tighter on their wrist.
Precisely.
But that alone doesn't really count as mind reading.
I believe I understand how the process works from there. It is a simple question of eyesight.
Eyesight? I guess that sounds simple enough.
Have you ever heard of kinetic vision?
Something about the ability to see moving objects with full clarity, right? I've heard of it before. They say athletes can see a moving ball like it was stopped, if they focus.
Oh, but it's not confined to sports alone. It all relies on the ability to focus. When we focus, we can see many things. The faintest twitch of the face, and the meaning that lies behind it. Therein lies one of the secrets of magic. One must know the mind of a crowd before one may distract it.
So basically what you're saying is... the Gramarys can see very well?
For them, seeing is more than believing. It is knowing. Their power relies on eyesight, combined with exceptional focus.
Things are starting to come into focus for me, too.
Of course, it is difficult to maintain such levels of focus for any length of time. But what if someone could tell you when to focus?
Or something!
Precisely.
But wait, Trucy doesn't have any bracelets.
You are talking about poker, yes? The timing of when to focus is so elementary, she probably does it without thinking. I doubt Trucy herself has realized this. That is all I know of things Gramarye.
Thank you, Mr. Zack.
If this boy's bracelet is the real thing, then he will use it before long, thereby awakening his power.
I'll keep that in mind. Well, shall we play a game?
Ah, I've said so much. Let me say one more thing. I will tell you of that night.
That night?
The night my mentor, Magnifi Gramarye, passed from this world to the next. There were 2 pistols and 2 letters sent. This was Magnifi's test.
A test?
In his last years, Magnifi Gramarye worked us to the bone. No, to the pain. But that night, I could not shoot him. So I shot the clown's forehead instead. This, it seems, was the correct answer.
Take this. I give my art to you, Zack.
What?
It is thanks for playing along with my show. You shot well tonight, Zack. Though I would not have minded dying by your hand.
How could I shoot you? You are my mentor.
Bah, I thought you might say that.
If I went home without shooting anything, what would you have done then?
Then, of course, I would have given Valant his chance.
And if I had shot you in the forehead instead?
Then it would be over. If you or Valant were to shoot me in the head, then I to the darkness would go, and my art with me. A fitting end, don't you think? Yet, this ending too gives me no cause for regret. I thank you, Zack, and I am sorry. I have done much that was wrong in my day.
It seems to me that Magnifi wanted you to be a successor all along. That's why the time he gave you was earlier than Valant's.
Perhaps, but it is not something we will ever know for sure now. I wonder, what is Valant up to these days?
Waiting for you to die. If 7 years pass like this, the performance rates go to him.
Ah, and now here I am, and his dream is ended.
It's worse than that, actually. Public opinion's a fickle thing, you know?
What? You don't mean to tell me they've put the blame for our mentor's death on him?
The trial ended when you vanished, Mr. Zack. There were even rumors that Valant had helped you pull it off.
But that's madness! Well, it seems that before I can once again disappear from this world, I have one more act to perform. Isn't it odd that sorting out my life should prove so complicated? Even though I'm dead.
That night, Zack Gramarye was killed. He died as Shadi Smith, a mysterious traveler with a secret past. But he left one thing behind before he parted. This. His confession, to use as I saw fit. Of course, he'd killed no one. This was his way of tying up loose ends with his old partner, Valant Gramarye.
Plot points everywhere with that guy, but we're done with the Borscht Bowl Club, and therefore we're done with Zack Gramarye. Gotta give a shout out to Graff. Thanks for voicing Zack, man. You did a really good job. Let's go to Sunshine Coliseum, and then it seems like we're going to have to end this investigation at Solitary Cell 13, as it should be. Let's do this.
Well, this is a blast from the distant past.
Long time no see, Mr. Valant.
7 years, has it been? Frankly, I didn't think I'd ever see you again.
Actually, I came because there's something I want to ask you.
I've spoken to the press. I've nothing more to say.
I've spoken to a lot of people myself, and come to some conclusions. But then I realized I needed to hear it from you.
I have walked a difficult road these past 7 years.
Because you couldn't perform Magnifi's repertoire?
Do not be deceived. Valant's skill is the real deal. I do not require my mentor's hand-me-downs. No, it is my partner who slowed me on my way.
Zach Gramarye.
His rather well-performed disappearing act 7 years ago was the end. Or so I thought.
Zach Gramarye murdered our mentor and fled to escape punishment for his crime. You said something to that effect 7 years ago, didn't you?
I remember as if it were only yesterday. Yet, it was not the way of it in the end. For while he vanished, the suspicion upon my own person never did. His partner Zach vanished to protect him. That's what those thieving magpipes of a press said.
I had no idea.
Yet, that very same press comes to me now, feign interest. They cover the greatest magic show in history as if it were a vaudevillian distraction. And here I must stand, smiling at them all. What am I, if not a player in some fiendish farce?
Might I suggest it's because you never made it clear what happened? Magnifi's death is still a mystery to this day. Which is why I came here to get the answer from you. I knew I'd be seeing these sooner or later.
The audience has no business stepping upon the stage. They must be content to sit and stare at the spotlight.
That sounds an awful lot like something I heard 7 years ago.
Well, the only thing left to do is break these cyclocks, so let's do it.
Ask what you will, you'll get nothing from me.
I'm as much a part of this affair as you are now. I have to know what happened.
For 7 long years, I have endured. Now, finally, the curtain lifts on my new golden age. All the miracles of our troop within my grasp.
Sorry to do this, Valant. But right now, I need answers. I think I'll start by dropping a bomb. That should shake things up. Valant, I wouldn't be so sure about those miracles. Not as long as I have this.
I have the Transferral of Rites. I believe this is the answer.
And what might that be? I see it bears the Gramarye seal.
I should have brought this to your attention sooner. But I didn't imagine you'd be planning your comeback quite so fast.
What is this?
A document showing the true recipient of the performance rights to Magnifi's miracles.
What? Zach Gramarye! He wrote this! What? He passed everything to his daughter!
Trucy Enigmar? Actually, she's officially my daughter these days.
Preposterous! Zach is gone! Vanished into the void!
This is the genuine article. Zach was alive when he wrote this. Both myself and the notary can testify to this.
Ah! Why? Why does fate toy with me so?
We'll find out next episode. Rate, comment, subscribe, favorite, and next episode, hopefully we can finish this investigation for good. and move on to the final trial. See you guys next time.